I see the same mistake over and over again where people come to me after sending thousands of emails, not getting any interested replies, and they wonder what's wrong. Almost every single time, it's one of these 7 rules that they're breaking. These rules basically cover everything when it comes to setting up your infrastructure, targeting, copy, how you handle replies, and if you break one of these rules, your whole campaign falls apart. So let's go ahead and go through all 7 rules. Rule number 1, never send cold emails from your main domain. This is probably one of the most basic rules in cold email, but I see people break it every single day. So here's basically what ends up happening. Somebody decides that they want to do cold outreach. They open up their main email account that they use for day-to-day business, client invoices, client communication, and they start sending hundreds of thousands of emails. And this is probably one of the fastest ways where you can destroy your domain reputation. When you send high volumes of cold email through one domain, Google and Microsoft are going to flag it immediately. They can tell the emails are automated, reply rates are low, and people are flagging it as spam. And then they basically tie it back all to your main domain. And then the next thing you know, all your business emails that you're trying to send to your real clients are all landing in spam. The right way to do it though is basically set up a whole bunch of different sending domains. For example, if my main domain is velocityflow.com, I would set up Go VelocityFlow, Get VelocityFlow, High VelocityFlow. And then you basically spread out your sending volume on multiple accounts across all those domains. Basically, instead of sending 1,000 emails a day from one account, now you're sending 20 a day from each account across 50 accounts. So basically your main domain stays clean where you can still message clients, and then you're using your other domains to send cold email. And that's basically the entire setup. Rule number 2 is don't cheap out on your tech stack. And I get it, I know you want to cut all costs, but if you're stacking your outbound system on some random tool that has a lifetime discount that just launched last month, then you're just asking for problems. The truth is your cold email setup can probably take days or even weeks to actually set up properly. The difference between a solid setup and a broken one is the difference between booking calls consistently or wasting all that time for nothing. Trying to save $99 a month on a sketchy tool that tanks your deliverability is not going to be a win in the long run. You're probably just going to end up wasting more time and more money. I would just stick to tools that have been around long enough and have actually been proven. For email accounts, I would just go Google or Microsoft, and then for sequencers, I would use SmartLead, Instantly, or even Email Bison. At the end of the day, these tools are names that everyone's coming back to for a reason. So you might as well use them for yourself. Rule number 3, and you'll be surprised how many people get this wrong, is you have to validate your entire list before you even send a single email. Because it doesn't matter where you bought the data from or what platform says about their accuracy of the data, you have to validate it yourself. And it's not only to save yourself money, but when you're sending thousands of emails and a chunk of them end up bouncing, that basically sends a signal to Google and Microsoft that you're having spammy behavior. And then it ends up taking your domain reputation and all your emails start going to spam. So before any campaign goes live, you have to run your entire list through an email validator, and I personally use Zero Bounce or Million Verifier. It basically goes out there and validates the emails, tells you which emails are good and which emails are bad. And obviously you just want to send to the good emails and not the bad ones. So the way I do that is I build a Clay table and filter all that data out in Clay. But either way, the main thing that you want to do is always validate your emails first. Now, rule number 4 is you want to segment your list into smaller campaigns. If you scrape one massive list and send everybody the same email on that list, then your results are obviously going to be bad. Because cold email is supposed to be a one-to-one channel. So if you have a list of 100,000 people, most likely person A versus person Z on that list probably have nothing in common. And then when you go and send the same email to everybody on that list, none of it is going to be relevant to the prospect. And obviously non-relevant emails never convert. The basic fix is just segment out your total addressable market and then build copy for every single chunk in that market. So just to give you an example, say you're scraping medical practices. You don't want to scrape all medical practices at once, drop some copy and send it to everybody on that list. You want to segment it out into chunks like dentists, cardiologists, and practitioners. And then go ahead and build your copy around each specific group. Now the emails that you're going to be sending are going to be tailored to each specific group because you built the copy around who you're actually targeting. You can obviously segment everything out by industry, job title, location, but the tighter your segment is going to be, the better your copy is going to be, and then you're going to start getting replies. Rule number 5 is be clear, not clever. And this is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see across everybody's email copy. People think a clever, creative email is the one that's always going to get you replies. So basically people go to ChatGPT, they tell them to write some crazy email. Obviously it comes out long and it looks just like a marketing campaign. And then that obviously leads to nobody reading the email. At the end of the day, it's 2026. People's attention spans are completely cooked. Everyone knows cold email automation exists. The very second your email just looks like you mass blasted it to everyone, it gets deleted. What actually works is just being short, direct, and actually sounding like a human. Just tell them why you're reaching out, give them a simple value prop, a simple CTA, and then you're done. You want to make it under 100 words and make it sound like a 6th grader could read it. And that's basically it. You just want to be clear, you want to be direct because that's what actually gets replies. Rule number 6 is you want to lead with value, don't lead with an often ask. If your CTA is, can we get on a 30-minute call just so I can pitch you my services, you're gonna lose. Because nobody wants to give 30 minutes of their time to a complete random stranger that hasn't given them any value yet. Just think about it from their perspective. A random stranger is sending you an email asking you to give up 30 minutes of your time and you don't even know the person. That's obviously way too much to ask for. You want to make it as easy as possible for the prospect to give you a yes. So instead of pitching the call straight away, you have to lead with something more valuable like a front end offer. So how I go about this in my business is I list out all my prospect pain points. I pick one of those and then I solve that with the free thing that I'm giving them to lead them basically to my core offer. Like a quick 5-minute Loom video or a free audit of a website, something along those lines. Because the more low friction, high value your CTA is, the more that you're going to generate deals and actually get replies. You booking in a meeting comes after you already got the prospect's trust. Rule number 7, and you'll be surprised how many people actually mess this up, is respond to your prospects as fast as possible. And this is the main one that everybody else starts breaking after they do everything else right across their campaign. And it ends up costing them the most in the long run. Someone basically replies that they're interested and then you wait 24 to 48 hours to get back to them, and by then they completely forgot why they replied and they just eventually move on. You can't wait that long because these are not warm leads coming to you. These are cold leads that you're reaching out to them. Their interest window is going to be super tiny, so the longer that you wait, the colder that the leads are going to get. So obviously all you have to do to fix this is when someone replies that they're interested, respond in the next 5 to 10 minutes, maximum probably 30 minutes to an hour. And then you also want to make it as low friction as possible to get them on a call. So shoot them a couple times that works for them, and then alternatively send them your Calendly link or something like that. And even if you want to go the extra mile, you can hit them up on multiple channels like LinkedIn or something like that. And that's the thing that's going to convert your interested replies into actually booked calls. You can't make your prospect figure out the next step for you. You have to take initiative every single time. Those are basically all the 7 rules. And if you break one of those rules, it's highly likely that your campaign is going to end up suffering. And then if you follow all of them, you got a full built out system that actually books calls. If you want us to build and run this entire system for you, there's a link below that you can click to book a call in with my team at Velocity Flow. We'll basically look at your current setup, tell you what's broken and exactly how to fix it. If you want to see more cold email content just like this, click subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next video.